What's going on? 1 second. Alright, I'm gonna get this going. Forecast. That's not what I want. There we go. JL composites. Phases. Alright. What's going on? What's going on? Alright, let's get TikTok up and running too. What's going on, Salim? What's going on, Santiago? Hey-o. Can you guys hear me? Let's go live here. Q-Ans. Okay, we'll start it here in a second. Let's check my audio. Hypercast. Looking good there. Looking good there. All right. Oh, I wanted to make another scene on YouTube. Let me see if I can do that. Where's my scenes? Scene transition. Okay. What's going on, guys? What is going on? Wait, is that Jordan? Is that Jordan? Is that you? You're just Jordan from New Jersey? Well, guess what? You wouldn't believe it. You have the same name as my sister. First and last. First and last. Okay, wait, guys. First thing is first. I'm going to let some people get in here. We're going to talk about a lot. We're going to do it. We're going to get back. I'm going to get back to my normal schedule of posting on TikTok. I know I've been posting some 100K stuff, but we're getting back to the normal schedule of things. Wait, are you actually? No, I'm confused. What's going on, Misty? No. Okay, guys. Really quickly, my wife did something for me hitting 100K, so we have to do this, okay? Really quickly, let me do something super fast. All right? Let me bring this to the front. 1 second. Order. Move to top. Okay, here we go. Really quickly. Hey-o. Okay. Really quickly. She baked this by herself. Might be poisonous. No, I'm just kidding. 100K. Thank you all. My wife did this for me because she's the best. But 1 second before we get started. My wife baked it. And it's the best cake I've ever had. If you're watching, babe, best cake I've ever had. It's alright, chat. Best cake. Woo! Thank you guys. Don't worry, we're gonna have a normal stream, but let me just take a couple bites and we'll get started. Couple bites. Damn, this is heavy. Yeah, W wife. W's in chat for the wife. Yeah. Okay. It's really good, actually. Alright, let's get started. Damn. Oh shit, that's really good. Alright, let me bring this out there for her, and then let's get started. Alright, we're back. Back to normal programming. Jordan, stop messing with me. Back to normal programming. Let me... Alright, let me just fix my screen now that I have it all messed up. Gotta get it back to wherever it was. It was like this or something. Ah, that looks right. Oh, 4 pixels. There we go. That looks right. Okay. I should have got a napkin or something. What are shirts for? Alright. Let's take a look at some of our models and see what's going on. Actually, I don't need these tonight. I'm doing good without them. All right. Which models are running? Well, we've got the 18Z of the Euro. But I don't really care about that. I care about the 12Z of the Euro. There's a little bit. We're not seeing a huge as significant of an Arctic blast moving into the second week of February, which is going to help reduce the severe weather chance, because obviously this is actually starting to look. This first one is actually starting to look potentially more significant than our second one now. We'll get into that in a second. This trough right here is not digging down as far in these latest models. So here's the Euro. Here, I mean, look at this. This wouldn't. I mean, this would potentially be pretty bad through here. Some of that popcorn supercell action. That's a little bit concerning looking. But, I mean, look at that squall line at the end. But originally, remember, this was projected. This dip right here, this trough right here, actually, where is it? Right here, was projected to be way more amplified. We thought we were going to get cold air back down into Texas, potential for snow. This has come up a little bit. We can compare it to our latest. I'm going to take answers or questions from chat in a second. Let me just go through this. Perfectly and Laddie, I appreciate you guys. Thanks, Santiago. W, Celine. Pattern ahead looks bad for the east. Above average temps. And the cold staying out west. Well, so it's kind of staying up north, though. So here's our GFS. Still looking like some flash flooding into Thursday and Friday. And from Austin, Texas, all the way up into northern Arkansas and then out east. And central and eastern Oklahoma. Watching that. Now watch what our GFS does here. Our GFS thinks the same thing. Not amplifying this trough as much. Not pulling that cold air as far down into Texas. But again, look at what's happening up in the northern plains, guys. Some snow. Kind of more snow showers. Another big blast of snow up here. You can kind of see where all of our moisture and precipitation is focusing. And again, if we just go and we look at our latest updated Kuchera run on the 18Z of the GFS. Oops, sorry, that was 12Z. Here we go. Wants a little pocket through here. That's probably not going to happen. But again, there's a much bigger focus through this region for snow. Snow activity. This is interesting. That's the interesting from the GFS, still showing it. This looks great for New England moving forward. But I don't know if the Euro agrees with that. We can take a look here. We'll do a quick model comparison. I just want to go through some of this stuff, guys, before I get into questions. We'll do a quick model comparison. 330 hours out. We'll see GFS Euro. GFS Euro. Look at New England. GFS Euro. GFS Euro. So, again, I like the Euro up here. I like the way the Euro does things. It's better with mid-latitude snowfall and cold air. Here's where it wants to snow. Right up through here. This is much more of a La Nina look, guys. This is much more of a La Nina look. Just in general. So, thank you, mods, by the way. This is much more of a La Nina look. Definitely getting some snow back up here. You know, this wants to bring 5 to 6 inches back into Minneapolis. We have to see how this snow tracks, though. A lot of this is still a little bit too far out to know for sure. You can see our first snow system that wants to move back up through the northern plains. If we go with our we'll go with our 18Z GFS. This is going to be a clipper. Minnesota and Wisconsin, potentially this weekend. The PNW is experiencing a lot of troughing and a lot of moisture, a lot of precipitation here right through the weekend. And then you get this zonal flow, warm air down here, cold air up here. All your moisture's up here. But as we get this troughing that wants to move in around the 6th or 7th, probably more the 7th or 8th at this point, this is when we're watching severe weather down here again. And then instead of your moisture being up here, we get a slight shift into your moisture here. Snow and rainfall. And then what it looks like is what I've been talking about. Look what happens as we push into mid-February. Do we start to see a negative EPO again and a return to cold air back down in the southeast? Maybe. We'll get into that. Let me start answering as many questions as I can. Appreciate the follows and the subs, guys. Thank you. The Great Lake region and interior Northeast doesn't need any more snow. They've been getting hit all winter. Yeah, I know they don't need it, Amir, but they're probably going to get it. You know what I mean? I know. I agree. I thought the Ohio Valley gets snow too when we're in a La Nina. Yeah, well, okay. The main region that the biggest overperforming with snow typically in a La Nina is here, the PNW. This is a big La Nina. Winter. The second, the one this is number one. The number 2 area that we usually get the most snowfall is this region. So, right now, the Pacific, which it's going to be that region, but it's going to be the northern side. You're going to struggle down here with temps because we have a zonal flow pushing warm air across you on the bottom for a while. But what have I been saying teleconnection-wise? Here we go. This is what we've been talking about, guys. Look at this Arctic oscillation wanting to dip down as we get in towards mid-February. This is a sign of a polar jet slowing again. And if our EPO is going negative at the same time, this is why I've been telling you guys. All right, so pushing back towards neutral. Pushing into a negative AO, neutral EPO. What's our PNA at? Neutral PNA. So this is a shift back towards some cold weather in the east. But into mid-February, 3rd, 4th week. I miss what you said about the PMW Seattle. A cool down and above average precipitation is going to begin starting Thursday, Friday, and you're going to get a few storm systems back to back up there with some cold air. You could get some low elevation snow. What's it looking like for tonight and Wednesday in central Connecticut? Let's go into HRRR. Let's just, I guess we can take a look at our 00ZHRRR. You talk central Connecticut. Light snow showers, cold air, maybe heavy snow showers about 24 hours out. So tomorrow evening, potentially, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, heavier snow showers into Connecticut. What are we thinking on the HRRR snowfall map? Doesn't want much. Interesting. It showed a good band, but it's probably a lot of that's not making it to the surface. We're only seeing a ½ inch to an inch, and that might even be a little bit too much. We can look at our 10-to-1 ratio though and see what this shows. Not much of a difference. And then our NAM. What's our NAM thing for Connecticut here? Keeping it to the north. Oh, that was underwhelming. Your future radar looked good, but these models don't want a lot of that snowfall at the surface. Or to reach the surface. Unfortunately, if you want snow. Not everyone does, though. Boston. What's our 12Z Euro think? I mean, we can look at our 18Z Euro for Boston. Our 18Z Euro thinks an inch or two still into central and northern Connecticut. And our 18Z Euros thinks 2 to 3 inches into Boston. Buffalo, New York. Yeah, I mean, around the city, over the next 72 hours, your Euro's looking at 3 to 4, but, in the burbs, maybe a little bit farther inland, a little bit away from the water, anywhere up to, right now it wants to project anywhere from 3 to basically 8 inches around Buffalo, depending on how close you are to the shore. What about South Texas? Well, you guys are going to be warming up again. Look at it, guys. Look at this. Look at our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. Look at our 8 to 14 day. Sorry if that was loud. This is a La Nina look, guys. This is a classic La Nina. This is even with the precip. On this first one. So, let's get into here. The 18Z changed the radar prediction for Illinois on the 7th. It changed from severe weather to snow. The 18Z on the GFS, yeah, I wouldn't trust the GFS that far out. That's way outside of forecasting range. That's about 150 hours outside of being able to forecast accurately. But if the Euro had a minor shift in that time frame as well, we could call that an agreement on a shift. So let's look. So the Euro for that time frame, yeah, the Euro still wants that to be rain, and your Euro is a better model for moisture above this latitude for anywhere up here. It's more accurate. What are you going for tomorrow for Long Island, New York? Are you expecting anything? Any snowfall out in Long Island? Because I don't think you're going to get any. Except for maybe some light snow showers some light snow flurries. So it's going to be cold, but I wouldn't expect much precipitation. Allie, I appreciate you. Mick Ratchtalk. Appreciate you. Izzy, thank you. Yeah, look at Seattle moving forward. You can see this right here, and this is what I was talking about. The Euro finally wants low elevation snow into Washington. It wants snow in here to Seattle. It does. We can zoom in up here a little bit. It's a little far out. But again, we're expecting some significantly below average temperatures. That's going to give you the chance for surface snow. And it does finally want to bring snow into the valley here. Potentially a lot. Potentially a lot down the road. 3, 4, 5 inches. You guys only average about 6, right? A year. Is Dallas snow on the 7th? Is Dallas snow on the 7th too far to know? Yes, too far to know. No, I wouldn't expect any snow on the 7th regardless, though. I guess not impossible, but our troughing has moved so far north. We can take a look at what our jet stream's doing now. Once we get out towards the 7th, and here's your dip. Here's your dip. You guys want to see what it looked like before? Look at this. Here's what it looked like before. Here's what your dip looked like before. That is cold air. That is potential snow into Dallas. Here's, at the same time frame, what it looks like. I mean, just not screaming big polar plunge. Our AO's going negative, though, so we'll see. This right here, right behind it, may be our actual big Arctic blast. That scoops down. Because your EPO's going back towards neutral, your AO's going negative. Your AO going negative is going to shift that EPO back to negative, I think, from neutral. Appreciate the follows, guys. Side note, never use the Canadian model for Supercell Composite if it wants 14 on that scale. Way too much. Yeah, I never use the Canadian model for anything. Should be your side note, Indiana. It's right every once in a blue moon. Snow coming towards the south. Not in the immediate future, but here's our latest. We are in phase 7 of the MJO, everybody. We're in phase 7 of the MJO. Phase 7. Why is this big? Here we go. That right there. We are now right here. We're in phase 7. Phase 7 of the MJO. What is phase 7? This is what phase 7 looks like typically, on average. Warm up through this sector, cold up here. Okay? This is typically what phase 7 of the MJO looks like. This on historical composites. Warm, cold. Check this out. What's the Climate Prediction Center projecting for us? Look at that. It's almost like it knows what it's doing. But in about a week or two, well, about 2 weeks, we're going to be in phase 8. We're going to be in phase 8. And phase 8 looks a lot different, guys. On average, phase 8. Oops. Phase 8 looks like this. On average, not always. It's colder trending out east, and you can see where that trend is, starting in central Texas, out to the east and up to the north and east, including portions of the Midwest. So, and then we'd go into phase 1 right after that, into March. What's phase 1 usually look like? There you go. So, just saying. And seeing our AO wanting to go back down to neutral. This is our polar jet slowing. At the same time, yeah, we'll have a shot. We'll have a shot for a big winter storm, I think. We'll have a shot for a big winter storm in February, late February out east, maybe even in the south. We'll see with this type of setup. Or 2, maybe 2. I don't want to get too aggressive, though. We've been doing good forecasting. I don't want to mess it up. Must remain accurate, people. Any new info on the event on Friday? Yeah, this event right here. Well, good point. CPC outlooks, day 3, pretty significant. Thank you for bringing that up. Here we go. SPC, Storm Prediction Center, slight risk. Marginal risk. Instability. Could you see a tornado spin up with this? Yes, it would likely be pretty weak. EF1, EF2 possibly, but I doubt it. It's there. We're expecting rain, cooled air. I'm expecting hail, strong winds potentially through here. But the biggest threat is going to be flash flooding. Flash flooding. What's the SPC think? Thunderstorms associated with isolated large hail and severe gusts. Took the words right out of my mouth. Will be possible across parts of the southern plains from late Wednesday afternoon through early Thursday morning. At mid-levels, a low will form eastward. Okay, yeah, that's nothing. Low-level jet. La 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 la. Not expecting much in the way of tornadoes, but tornadoes are possible with this, so we're gonna have to watch it. I will be taking my son to a water park Wednesday to Friday. We're going to be out of town, unfortunately, so I won't be able to cover this. Mezzo Matt will, though. Mezzo Matt will be covering this entire event from probably almost start to finish. MESOMATT. He's one of my good friends here on TikTok and YouTube, or one of my good content creator. Acquaintances, pals, and he'll be covering this. If you guys don't follow him, he'll be covering this, and he knows his stuff. He answers chat's questions, and he knows what he's talking about. It is very easy for him to understand what's going on at a pretty deep level. So, yeah. Got to take my son to the water park. I promised him. We're going on a little mini vacation. Will we have more snow in DC, Northern VA, or are we done? Like I've been saying, we are expecting, and the Euro, guys, I've done forecasting for a very long time, just personally, like looked and forecast it. This January, if we do mid to late February, go back into that cold trend out east, this would be like my best 2 months forecasting ever. It's a little luck. It's always a little luck that goes into forecasting or out. There's a lot of luck that goes into Outlook, but you still have to know what you're talking about. But we've been talking about in January how beginning of February looked like it was going to be hot for the South and East, which it will. And according to our latest Euro, you can see what we want to do temperature anomaly wise as we're pushing into mid-February. Here we go. This right here, this is a trough that is going to dig. And our jet stream is going to be reset up like this. Winter setup again. Mid-February to late February. That's at least what we're seeing on our latest models. And that would be crazy if that happened because that's just, that's just kind of what I've been thinking was going to happen. So I hope it does. I could still be wrong. We'll see. But again, your teleconnections are kind of telling a similar story. And again, I have the cheat sheet of the MJO. Our MJO going into phase 8 and phase 1, trend cold for the East. So this is kind of a cheat sheet. It doesn't guarantee us. This gives you over a 50% chance of having an active winter pattern and cold air back out east again in the South and the East, meaning you can get a big February or early March winter storm or a couple. If, I would say it's a 6 out of 10 chance, 7 out of 10 chance, I'd say. There's still about a 30% chance you can you can be in a phase 8, phase 1 of the MJO, even with the slowing AO, and your EPO wants to stay positive, and some other stuff's going on, and you're just not, and you can stay warm out east, but it's looking very, very, the trend is looking like, again, mid to late February into early March, we're going to see some active winter weather out east again. Let me see this real quick. See this on the GFS? The GFS agrees. This would be a jet stream that's setting up like that again. Negative EPO jet. Mid-level jet. I just noticed that the YouTube live is behind. This is ahead. I started. It's always like 20 seconds off for some reason, and I don't know why. But it shouldn't be that far off. It's weird because I always start streaming on YouTube first. Like just like 20 seconds, 30 seconds before. Lots of questions about Florida. Yeah, I don't really know what to tell you about Florida. You guys are expected to be warm. You guys aren't expecting much severe weather, scattered showers. It's not the most exciting couple of weeks for Florida. That's why I haven't been talking about it much. I've kind of pushed my focus towards the Pacific Northwest, this region, New England, and our severe weather down here. These are starting to look like the most interesting regions. I mean, I can show you guys. We can talk about Florida. It's going to be hot. It's going to feel like summer for you for a couple of weeks. Here's our quantitative precipitation moving forward. I mean, this is like under, like barely anything in Florida. This is nothing for Florida. And then we can look at our temperatures in Florida, and it's just going to be hot. It's going to feel like summer, spring in Florida. Look at this. Look at Florida. Look at those temps down there. It's staying red. No really big cool downs anywhere in your near future until maybe, again, we'll see what happens as we get into the end or the middle of February, where maybe we get some cold air pushing back down there. Kind of a boring forecast for Florida for the next couple of weeks. But as we get into mid-late February, we could see some cold air plunging back into Florida, and we could get some some action. Is it going to snow in Kansas again? You'll have a chance here. Definitely the way our jet's setting up over the next couple weeks. You know, your ensembles again want to bring snow up here. So let's look at our European ensemble for snow. Let's look at our probability of an inch or more over the next couple weeks here. Here is where the Euro is favoring snow. Now, a lot of this is happening soon. So I want to focus more out a little bit farther west. So this is kind of where we think the snow is going to be. Again, you can get some snow. We could see some snow accumulation through Arkansas, through Oklahoma, through Missouri. It's going to be tougher. You guys, this whole area might be on the ice or mixing side of these winter storms. We can go to here. Let's go to surface, winter, and we'll look out. There's our 10-day Euro ensemble. This is our best snow model. These are a million different runs where the Euro thinks we're going to get our snowfall. I would really just look at this blue. If you're in that blue, you're going to have a pretty high likely chance of getting some accumulation. Especially once you get into this darker blue area. The Euro's a good model, and that's the ensemble. So it takes all of the different European runs and shoots out kind of what the average is, which is good. How are you going to a water park in winter? It's indoor. It's indoors, Mark. It is indoors. The GFS is showing the Southeast Ridge. It is getting smashed next week for Tennessee. Let's look at this. Into next week. Yeah. Getting skin squished down there a little bit. Yep, and then boom, right there. Yeah, I mean, as we get into mid-February, we're expecting that again. We're expecting troughing back into the east and the southeast. Lake Charles, we're worrying about severe weather for you, especially on Thursday. Hot weather, heat, humidity, and severe weather. That's your outlook for the next couple weeks. Thursday and Friday, you need to be very weather alert. Especially for the potential of serious flash flooding. I think your tornado potential is going to be a little bit down, but strong wind gusts, hail, flash flooding, that's going to be a serious threat down there. Really looks to be a mainly Thursday event, I think, for you guys. But potentially into the early hours of Friday. Is Montana getting any snow soon? Well, you should. I'd be shocked if you missed out on all of this snow that wants to move across. It doesn't want to blanket the whole state, but most of it. We got a couple different lows smashing into the Pacific Northwest that are gonna float some snow over here into Montana. Really over the next 10 days. You can see South and West Montana want to get in on the action in 5. Alabama, again, you guys are going to get hot for a couple weeks here, and we're going to be worrying about severe weather. No snow in the forecast, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible to get some in mid to late February with the setup. Tony Money, Troy, Lolita, what's going on? And Yali. Simply, Yali, Ava, I appreciate you guys. Eclipsed, thank you guys for the follows and subs too. I see it. I appreciate all of you. Any update on the late February Georgia snow? Well, there's an outlook that gives you guys a chance for more snow in late February in Georgia. But it's way too far out to give you a forecast. The atmospheric setup right now, as we move into the 3rd and 4th week of February, looks favorable for a chance for snow again in the South. It's much harder to get snow in the South as we push away from January, because that's the coldest month of the year. That really makes it much easier for these troughs to dig down into the Gulf and into the southeast. So you really need a big break, big slow in the polar jet, some, really significant troughing in late February. But we're going to have an atmospheric setup where we could get a digging snowstorm in late February. Remember out here, some of our biggest snowstorms in history were in February, are in February and March. So we've seen monster snowstorms out here in February and March, but you need the right setup. The atmospheric setup looks right. The ingredients will be there. The timing has to be correct. Pennsylvania this upcoming weekend. Any snow in northeastern PA? Yeah, there's potential for it here. The GFS likes rain and ice, and our latest Euro, likes rain and mixing as well. So that's probably more likely to happen. Let me take a sip of this real quick. My kids loved having snow in South Carolina. Yeah, I bet. That's awesome. That's awesome that they got it. I'm parched. 1 second. What is Oklahoma looking like for any snow? Well, we showed it earlier. Our European ensemble showed the chance for some snow in north and western Oklahoma, because there are some model runs that bring some of that snow into there. Not very likely. It's going to be tough to get any snow into Oklahoma with this forecast we have coming up. So I think we'll have to wait a little bit longer. The problem's going to be, too, as our jet switches back to kind of a negative EPO, we're going to see snowstorms that probably want to move to the north of Oklahoma. And then as our jet switches, we're going to see snowstorms that want to move off to the northeast of Oklahoma. This type of setup we have moving forward starts to build a ridge potentially into Texas and Oklahoma, Louisiana. This region right here. We start to get some ridging through here, potentially in the late third, fourth week of February. But, that's not guaranteed. We could get troughing that digs more like this, which would include you guys into snow. So we're watching that. Still a long time left in winter, guys. Remember, the midpoint in winter was only 7 days ago. The halfway point in winter was only 7 days ago. So lots of stuff to watch. Why are you spamming Lake Placid 6 to 9? I don't know what you're trying to say, but we are going to do that. Let's see. Minnesota, anything? Yeah, Minnesota's. Here's the 12Z of our Euro. It doesn't want any snow more until about. Doesn't want that big snow until about the 6th of February. There's a lot of okay. I want you guys to understand what's going on up here. Why you guys haven't had a lot of snow in Minnesota this winter is because we've had troughing like this, and it's been so cold up here. If you watched my video I posted today, I called it. It's been so cold up here. You've had no lift mechanism, no instability in the air, and you need that for winter storms. Where do you have the most instability and lift? Along, you see these red isobar lines here? Okay, think of that as the heat. The blue isobar lines here are cold. Where these clash, you notice that's where you get your precipitation. You guys see that? That's where it is. You don't really see any up here. You don't really see any precipitation down here. It's along where these lines clash. So you can see it right here too. Look at where this precipitation shield is along these lines. Look at where these lines clash. Okay, that's where you get it typically. We're going to have a lot more instability up and around Minnesota. You can see it right here just by taking a look at how our isobars are interacting. This is troughing and ridging meeting. This type of pattern is going to want to produce lift and instability up here in the northern plains, and you're going to end up getting one or two maybe good snowstorms up here probably through the first 2 weeks of February because of, look at all this. This is just clashing of warm and cold air up here. This is how you get snowstorms. If you're just freezing like you were all through January, you have no instability. You have no lift mechanism. You have no convection. But you can see here, there's possibly some snow. There's some more snow. There's some more snow. Moving forward, you get that instability. You get that lift. You get that interaction between warm and cold air back up in the northern plains, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and over towards Minnesota and Wisconsin. And that's why your chances are definitely up in February to get some good snow. Way up. Way better than January. I would be shocked if you didn't have at least one or two good snowstorms up there through the northern plains and through portions of Minnesota and Wisconsin in February. It's just the right pattern for you guys. Just like I said in December, January was the right pattern for southern snow. Is there going to be severe... Oh no, chat's going too quick. Is there going to be... I appreciate the follows, guys. Thank you. Wave it, Mike. Thank you for the share. Severe weather in Charlotte next week. Yeah, I mean, there's potential. I think it's going to be a flooding issue. Not really a tornado or issue or anything like that. I think it's just going to be a heavy rainfall issue for you guys over the weekend. But it might not even be that heavy downpours by the time we get there. Yeah, I mean, I talked about South Dakota. I just talked about the northern plains, all that warm and cold air interaction we're going to get up here through the first half of February. That's why you're seeing so much. Look at all this winter weather up here. That's why we're seeing it. Lots of warm, cold air interaction, lots of lift available up there for convection. Atlanta done with snow? That's impossible to tell. There's no snow in Atlanta's forecast, but our outlook gives Atlanta the potential for a chance late February for a chance. No problem. Gotta have some. Outlook in Portland, Oregon. I see some moisture next week. Oh, no, yeah, it's coming. Your temperatures are going to drop as we move into the, literally the first week of February, first day of February, and you've got a low moving in off the coast, another low. You can actually almost see a training rain band here. Let's zoom out a little bit. Almost an atmospheric river type setup in Oregon. Here we go. You see this here? We've got a low here. We've got again, look at our isobar lines. Our 540 and our 546. What is happening here? These are different air boundaries colliding. Cold and warm air boundaries colliding. This is forcing the warm air up. This is pulling that evaporation off of the Pacific, pulling it up to the tropopause, condensing all that water into moisture. We have lots of convection with this low and all this cold and warm air interacting. And look what wants to start funneling into Northern California and potentially Oregon. This right here is almost like a baby atmospheric river. Watch as this thing trains in. Starts, around the first, into the second, into the third, into the fourth, into the fifth, and then another low piles in. And then, the Pacific Northwest. But again, we're getting some troughing pushing down at the same time, though, which is why I think Seattle will get low elevation snow. Portland might get low elevation snow. Someone said, where is it the warmest at right now? That's a good question. Probably South Florida. Nope. Southern Texas, 66 degrees. Well, actually, current temperatures. Oh, where did I put that? Observation. That's 65 degrees in the tip of Texas. It is 68 degrees in Key West. 69 degrees in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Miami, Florida. 69. Yeah, the warmest temperature in the U.S. right now is 69, guys. Good number. Solid number. Park City, Utah. Yeah, you guys are going to get some good Rocky Mountain snow here over the next couple weeks. If you had to put it into odds, what are the chances that Middle Georgia gets snow? 1 or 2% for the rest of winter. 1 or 2%. There's nothing in forecasting range, so I would have to be saying I'd literally have to be predicting just off the fact it's supposed to get colder out east and in the south. but you need way more than just cold air for snow. You need a low pressure. You need moisture. You need lift. You need there's a lot of different variables. So it's, if we start to see it in the forecast, I would change my, that's why like percentage wise is weird, because if it's not in the forecast, I should say 0%, but I think I'm not going to say 0% because we have a very cold pattern that looks like it wants to set up again in the southeast second half of February. So I know that would technically give you a chance for more snow in Georgia, but there's none in the forecast. How does Puerto Rico look? Puerto Rico looks hot and tropical. You know, guys, your conditions don't change much in the tropics down there, if you haven't noticed. Except for you guys have more of a rainy season. Brittany, what is going on? Should Northwest Arkansas be worried? I would be watching our event into Thursday for flash flooding. Just be aware. Be weather prepared. Please. Pretty please. Especially Arkansas may be the target for that potential flash flooding. I mean, look at our total quantitative precipitation. Oof. Northwest Arkansas. In a period of, let's call it 12 hours, anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rain, 12-hour period you could see, maybe more, maybe 2 to 4 on the high end. We'll have to see how this turns out. Dallas wants to get 2 to 4 inches of potential rain in a 12-hour time period, maybe a little bit longer than that, but that is a flash flooding risk. Hi, Reggie. Listen, if you saw how fast my chat moves on my screen, you wouldn't be mad at me. I never ignore anyone if I'm not answering. It's just because I don't favor anyone in chat. I just look at my chat, and the first comment I say, I respond to. And when I'm done responding, I look back at chat, and then that's the only way I can do it. Sometimes I'm reading a comment and it flies up and I have to go find it again. You ever consider doing live classes on general weather forecasting and interpretation of maps? I would, first I want to do this full time. I am doing this 30 to 40 hours a week, but I also have a job, a 9 to 5. I have work 40 hours a week. First, I would want to do this full time. Once I was doing this full time, I would want to do potentially some like side teaching or courses or something like that to fill my time. I think that would be fun. Will Cali ever get cooler or more snow in the south? Well, you guys have a cool down coming. You guys do have a cool down coming. I mean, look at this. This is your February 2nd through the 6th Climate Prediction Center. I mean, this whole region is supposed to be average to below average. That does include portions of, look, you can see the coastline slightly below average. And then I think it's a little bit more drastic. Here you go. February 4th through the 10th. And we know why the Climate Prediction Center is predicting this. Nice cool down there in Southern California. This is below average temperatures that are being projected. Almost significantly below along the coast. So, and your moisture wants to return down there too as we push a little bit farther into February. So that's good. That is expected, yes. Very much so. It's actually about to become so cold because 30 is normal for me. Where are you, Abdullah? Albany, New York snow. I don't think you're going to see it with this storm over the weekend. Not impossible. We could see some shifts, but these clippers want to put snow into Albany. These clippers that are passing through, you might get a little bit of snow with this first clipper. We can go zoom into what we think here. New York. Here, let's do this. Let's do this. So Albany should be this number right here. So we'll go to our latest Euro. Why is this only on our 12Z? That's fine. What is this doing? 1 second, guys. There we go. So, over the next, let's see, 72 hours, the Euro wants to give you about 4 inches. Yeah. Wants to give you a chance for 4 inches with those clippers. I would probably pull back and say 2 to 3 at most. I don't know. I think that's being a little bullish. Let's take a look at our HRRR. HRRR is not doing much, but let me go back to the 00Z. There we go. HRRR. Yeah, 2 to 3. So, but it's expecting you to get some snow accumulation. How much snow will Seattle Metro get? There's a chance you guys get 2 to 4 inches of snow in the first or second. Well, the GFS and Euro both like a little bit of snow accumulation into the city of Seattle. This isn't guaranteed, but it's definitely a possibility. So around the 3rd to the 5th of February, I think the GFS kind of agrees on that. Let's see. It does. Low elevation snow sometime between the 3rd and the 5th of February. 2 to 4 inches, maybe more if you're lucky, but they both agree on that. That's good model consensus. Same time frame as well. Brittany, I appreciate you. 1 second, guys. Give me 2 seconds. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Hello. Hey guys, sorry. Thank you for the follows, guys. Hopefully another winter storm in North Carolina. It's possible, Cafe. With our setup that wants to arrive second half of February. I did get my cake. Oh, did you not see it? Oh crap. Let me just show you real quick. Roach. It's gonna fall. It says 100K. It's pretty good. I actually want another bite. Yum. All right, let's do this. Coming for the hidden stash, yeah. Isn't it? I know. Freshly made. She's awesome. My teacher watches this guy. Gavin, who's your teacher? Eugene, Oregon snow? Well, look, the Pacific Northwest is going to get a lot of snow and potentially some into low elevation over the next 2 weeks. Definitely the mountains, maybe the low elevation with the troughing we're going to see moving in. It's really going to start kicking up, all that moisture kicking up on Thursday and Friday this week, and you'll see it consistently moving in. It's going to be a much more La Nina look for you guys. Will Charlotte and South Carolina get snow? Gavin, the second half of February may give you guys a chance for another snowstorm. It's going to be tough, but there's a chance with the setup that we have when we move into the 3rd and 4th week of February, the middle to the end of February. It looks like we may get a setup for more snow down there. It's going to be tough, but we may. My son was watching. That's awesome. I appreciate that. LFCKARAS. Karas. Arizona, ooh. Arizona wants to stay dry. Arizona wants to stay a little bit dry and a little bit hot. Look at your temperature outlooks in Arizona. And then we move down to our precipitation outlooks. Ooh. But over the next, there's still a little bit of precipitation that wants to fall through Arizona over the next 24 to 48 hours. So that's good. We'll see if we can get a little bit of snow into central northern Arizona. We're gonna get some accumulation in central northern Arizona there. Wedding February 22nd in South Alabama. Will it snow? That is impossible to tell, Duncan. Possible to tell. Almost a month out, unfortunately. I wish anyone could tell you that. That would be really cool. I will say we would our outlook favors colder, below average temps. That near the end of February for that region, but we'll see. I appreciate that, TG. Will we have an early spring in the South? Yeah, tough to tell. Our spring is expected to be active with severe weather because we're in an Enso neutral weak La Nina type look. So what that means is you could see a lot of temperature swings. Very cold, very hot. Very cold, very hot to kick off our spring. No problem, Duncan. Traveling next weekend. Will there be any bad weather in Pennsylvania for Saturday, Sunday? We're watching Friday. Most of that is going to be out of our hair Saturday and Sunday, and we're just going to have some cold temps. So I think you're going to be okay. Could we see a foot of snow in Minnesota? You're going to have a chance at 2 or 3, I think, good snowstorms in February. You need a little bit of luck with tracking. Do they move to your north, to your south, or do they move right over your head? But we've talked about Minnesota a couple times already in this live, and you have a lot of warm and cold air interaction finally back in February, and you need a little bit of that because that's what gives you lift in the atmosphere. That's what allows your moisture to rise and condense and put big snowstorms over your head. You need some low pressures. So you're not going to be stuck in a high pressure in February, which means your snow chances are going up in Minnesota significantly. From north to south. St. Louis, I would cautious St. Louis about some potential flooding issues on Thursday into Friday morning. And you guys are going to be warming up here for a little bit. I'm worried about where St. Louis is because, we'll have a jet stream that we'll want to set up potentially like this. And you could get, we could be worrying about an ice storm through this sector of the country right here, first half of February. But right now, the only thing you really got going on is you're going to be warming up, and that Thursday into Friday morning, you're going to see a lot of rainfall. Then you're just going to get some heat and some dry air for a while. Hi, Julie. What up, Julie? Don't worry, Julie. I got you. Here's your next 72 hours. Three to 6 inches. Very high winds. Let's look at our gusts. Oh yeah. I was watching these. Is it very windy there right now? Yeah, that's gonna persist until tomorrow, potentially late afternoon, and then you have some more winds moving in right after that, and then you finally get a break from the wind. Thursday, you get some okay gusts after that, but yeah, you've got this is your main wind event. This first one here, actually maybe the second one. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It looks a little better though. You can see it right here when we look at our. Here you go. See these isobar lines? See how tight these are up in the northeast? The tighter these lines are right here, the closer these lines are together, the quicker the pressure is changing by latitude. So these are very close isobar lines, meaning your pressure is changing rapidly through this region. And a pressure gradient is what causes strong winds. If we were to zoom out here and we were to look somewhere that didn't have a strong pressure gradient, like here, these isobar lines, look how far away they are from each other. I wouldn't expect to see almost any wind here if we went to our wind map. Let's go look at our wind map. A little bit of wind. A little bit of wind. This is associated with a low pressure, though. Not, you can see where our isobar line wind is. So if we were to look at our... So you can see a little bit of moisture here, and you can see warm and cold air interaction in here. So this would be convective wind. Please, any chance of snow in South Baltimore? No. Later in February, I think yes. Later in February, second half of February, I think we'll be in a good setup to get a potentially good snowstorm into Baltimore. Not anytime soon, though. Snow in upstate New York? Plenty. We've been looking at that. Here you go. Here's like over the next 72 hours what the Euro thinks for snow in upstate New York. So your light blues are 2 inches. Your darker blues are up to 5. And then you get into your pinks and your 6 inches up to a foot or more. Just got multiple clippers moving through that region. 1, 2, potentially 3, 4. So you got it's not going to be one system. It's going to be a few. Yeah, you're good, Julie. Everyone's out of them and can't recharge them. Apparently, you can recharge your TikTok coins on like the computer, like on the website, not in the TikTok app. But like, what the heck? People can't sub. People can't renew their subs. People can't get new coins on TikTok. People can't download TikTok who deleted it. Like the app is a mess right now. And that is why I'm multi-streaming on YouTube, trying to get it grown. Because I'm worried what's going to happen. I really don't want to lose the following and the page I've built on TikTok. But if it happens, it happens. Addison, I appreciate you. It is complete BS. Michael, what's going on? By the way, I have I don't know if I have a message from you, Michael. If I ever don't respond to you in my inbox, it's not because I didn't see your message. It's just because I have 2 jobs. I'm working like over 80 hours a week and a kid. So it's really hard for me to get to responses in my inbox. I feel bad because I like go in there and have so many people I haven't responded to. And I literally am so behind on those. Snow tonight in Western Pennsylvania. Yeah, potentially. You're not expecting much out there. Here's our Euro 18Z. What's going on, Mezzo? Here's our Euro 18Z. A little bit potentially. We'll say 3 to 5 inches. Northwestern, very far northern and western PA. I don't know if you're gonna get any into Pittsburgh though. Maybe a little bit though. Maybe a little bit. Inch. Mezzo, what's going on, dude? Been in bed all day sick with a sinus infection. Oof. My friend's been sick. My friend Phil's been sick all day too. My son has a bad cough. Although he's starting to get over it. Thank God, because we're about to go on a little vacation. This is starting to look a tiny bit more organized, Matt. Tiny bit. But still looking like a flash flooding threat over anything. And wow, what the change we've had from I was showing chat this earlier. Yeah, Matt, I told my chat earlier. I said I'm going to be out of town Wednesday to Friday. But if you guys are concerned about that severe weather in the south, southeast, Mezzo Matt, he's in chat right now, MESOMATT, he'll be covering it. So he knows his stuff and he does a good stream. So here was our original Euro look at this dip in the jet stream. This is what we were looking at, I don't know, 24, 48 hours ago. And now look at it. Here we go. It's like, hello. Here we go. Around this time frame. There it is now. So it was here, quite the significant shift, which may help us with that severe weather issue on the 7th, 8th. Haven't seen that big a shift in a while. Snow for Nebraska. Your snow chances are definitely elevated your first couple weeks. You're accurate. And Coat, appreciate you. Yeah. This is the region we are thinking is going to see elevated snow through the first couple weeks. I would include, actually, probably some of your Rockies down here. This region is it's a much more La Nina type look. And again, our severe weather threat's going to be down here. Well, yeah. Snow in Kansas City, Missouri. None in your immediate forecast. So that would be more of an outlook. Chris, I appreciate you. Addison, thank you. Thank you, guys. Addison. Chris, Addison. Thank you, guys. Why on the map does it still say Gulf of Mexico? It's Gulf of America now. Which one does it say it on? The radar? I know. What? Yeah, I mean, regardless of how... What the heck did I just close out? Regardless of how anyone feels about Trump politically, like, they will actually have to change it on these maps because, especially when it comes to meteorology, you have to kind of call things what they're actually called. So they probably will change it on maps. I think that's going to take a while, though. Throughout the circle to the north of me... Wait. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. Right, Matt? Snow, rain, and you're somewhere in between here. You're somewhere right in this little crack right here. I mean, severe weather, though. Severe weather, snow. What's up for SNE this weekend? South Nebraska? Someone tell me what SNE is? Matt, can you tell me what SNE is? Southern New England. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought Nebraska too, Matt. I mean, we just looked at that map. Oh, Matt, by the way, I mean, here's Southern New England. So we can let's go to region real quick. Matt, I want to show you something. Here's New England just over the next 72 hours. At least on our Euro, where we expect to see snow. So it's going to be hard from Boston south into Connecticut, Rhode Island, and the Cape. Matt, remember what I was talking to you about the MJO? Guess what, buddy old pal? Look what phase we're in. Look what phase we have entered. Siete. So, these are our next two phases, which will likely be second half of February into March. And again, what do we typically see in this time period into phase 8, which is our next phase, a week or two? Not always, but your average, your composite is a colder trend out east for the phase 8, and it is a colder trend out east for the phase 1 as well. There's your phase 1, guys. So, we'll see if our teleconnections want to work with us, but I think they're gonna. Explain what that is. Yeah, the MJO really quickly. The MJO, or Madden-Julian Oscillation, is a cluster of convection, clouds, and rain that begins its inception somewhere here along the eastern African tropical coast. Phase 1 through 3, it begins to shift its way off to the east over India. As we get into 4 and 5, it gets into the Maritime Islands, north of Australia, and really 6. It moves out here. This can really affect their rainy season, their monsoon seasons. It's moisture. It's big. Just imagine it being a big ball of rain and humidity and moisture. And then as we get into 7 and 8, it begins to trek across the Pacific Ocean. Now, where this is can affect our troughing and ridging patterns. Because where the MJO is situated, that's going to be a low. So that's going to be more associated with the trough. So that can affect our teleconnections out here, our Eastern Pacific Oscillation, our Pacific North American Oscillation, all sorts of oscillations, and can allow us to predict longer term what our troughing and ridging patterns will be out in the States. And we can see through time by looking at our composites here what is typically associated with each phase of the MJO. The MJO is not something we've known about for a very long time, guys. In the grand scheme of things in meteorology, the MJO is still very misunderstood and it's very new. It really started being practiced and applied, I think, in the 90s. And we're still trying to figure it out, but we do know that there is a 1-to-1 correlation with our MJO phase and what we expect to see with our ridging and troughing patterns across North America. That's the only way I know how to explain it. When will Florida warm up? I go in 10 days. Florida's going to be hot for like the next 2 weeks. So you're good, Julie. We could look at our forecast, CPC, Climate Prediction Center. Here's your 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. Look at Florida. Here's your 8 to 14 day. It's going to be summertime down here. Yeah. Mesomac said, can I come with you, Julie? It's going to be summertime. Look at this. Look at this, Julie. So say you're there in 10 days. What's 10 days from the 28th? Like the 7th? Look at this. Look at these temperatures down here, Julie. 85, 87. I mean, we're literally mid 80s. We're hot. This is literally summertime weather. Not even spring. It's summer. So you're good. Y'all can take Mesomat. Later. I had to post on my story today that I was going to be MIA. I absolutely hate doing that. Yeah, me too. I'll just go tell my wife I'm not going to the water park so I can stay here and do our severe weather forecasting Wednesday to Thursday, guys. What do you think? She did just bake me a cake for my 100K, blow up all these balloons, watch my son all night, put him to bed. But I think I'm going to have to tell her I'll have to ditch the vacation. You better not. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't. Listen, I'm more excited for the water park than my son is, so. Yeah, Bob Benson. MJO stands for Madden-Julian Oscillation, and I just explained it, so I don't want to do it again. But the summary of it is it's a big, large, huge, I mean, it's like continent-sized pocket of rain. It's a big, large, huge continent. Like it's like this big moisture, clouds, rainfall, and over 30 to 60 days, it shifts from the African continent out through the Pacific. At the end of your 30 to 60 day cycle, it fizzles off here as it moves into the Atlantic, but it affects our troughing and ridging patterns. It affects our cold and warm patterns and can help us figure out what type of conditions we're going to see on the West Coast or East Coast much farther out as we move through winter. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subs, guys. Belowy, I appreciate you. Addison, thank you. I'm really close to on YouTube. I'm very, very close with watch hours to being able to have what's it called on YouTube, like team members or something, which is cool. So I'll be able to customize my YouTube experience a little bit more and stuff like that. So red is hot. Look at this heat down here. Look at that. I mean, geez, 87 degrees in Tampa. All right, sorry. Let's get back to. Skirt. 1 second, guys. Let me get back into surface precipitation. Can you show Australia? Well, I can show it on Radar Omega real quick. That bottom one down there. Take a look at our GFS. Australia's looking pretty dry, except for up there near Townsville. What's Australia looking like moving forward? Yeah, a decent amount of rainfall into the west coast. Lots of rainfall into the west coast. Sydney. What's our temps looking like? Something stuck in my mouth. Jeez. Oh, I forgot. It's your guys' summer. It's summertime down there in Australia. Look at those temps. Jeez Louise. 110 degrees? 115 degrees? Nah, I'm good. Look at the temps in all these other normal countries that are like 80s and 70s over summer, 80s and 70s. And then you go to Australia and the whole continent's 100 degrees. That is brutal, guys. I guess not right near the coast, I guess. Much cooler right near the coast. Down there near Sydney. All right, sorry. Let's get back to... Let me answer questions here. Let's get back to our normal radar. Look at all that snow, guys, we got moving up into the Midwest, by the way. Lots of winter storm warnings. Winter storm warnings in Buffalo. Winter storm warnings up near Watertown. They're always in a winter storm warning. Most of upstate New York, including Albany. Most of New England as well. Nice little clipper. It's a nice, strong clipper with some heavy winds moving through. Looks like the Clipper's going to miss Wisconsin. If you're talking about this one, potentially to the north. But again, this one may the GFS likes this one to put a lot of snow through the Twin Cities and most of Wisconsin, including southern Wisconsin. The Euro keeps it a little farther north, but then you got a second chance, a third chance. Again, you're going to have an elevated chance of snow up here through this region. Don't worry. Through the first 2 weeks of February. Weather, Missouri, February 22nd. I wish I could tell you that, D. Wish I could tell you that. You're favored to be colder, trending colder, second half of February, but precipitation-wise, it's too far out to tell you. Just got a quick 3 inches in Michigan tonight. Nice. Yeah, I just looked at that radar, and I'm like, holy crap. I didn't even realize how heavy some of this stuff is coming down. These are our heaviest bands right here, these bright bands, so... Buffalo's got a pretty heavy one rolling through right now. Syracuse got some pretty heavy snow, it looks like, rolling through. Cleveland. Is anyone here in Cleveland? Is it snowing pretty heavy in Cleveland right now? Looks to be snowing pretty heavy in Cleveland. I'm in southeast Michigan, and the wind's brutal, but thank God no snow. Yeah, that's those same winds are blowing through Buffalo. New Mexico is supposed to get some snowfall. Central to northern New Mexico, including Albuquerque, over the next 48 hours. So that's what we're watching over the next 72 hours. And I saw someone ask about Baltimore. Again, we're expecting a lot of rainfall to move through Friday into Saturday. Really entering the DMV Friday morning and exiting Saturday morning with a big heat up over the weekend. At least through Friday and Saturday. Maybe you get a little bit of a cool down with that troughing behind. You can see the GFS almost wants to bring snow down into the DMV, although I don't think this is going to make it a snow down into the DMV. I think it's going to stay just north. I don't even think that'll make it a snow into Philly, but potentially. Is a coastal low development possible? What coast? Matt? This is pivotal weather that I'm on right now. Pivotal weather. So So you're talking about it like by coastal low. You're thinking some, something that would bring snow out here. As we get into the middle of February, if we do what looks like might happen, our AO's dipping back down. Matt, by the way, if you're still in here too, look at our Arctic oscillation. I don't know if you're in here, but our AO, as we push back into mid-February, I might be on for February too, Matt. We'll see, but second half of February would give us the opportunity for some coastal low development, 100%, if we continue to see this outlook. If you're talking about in the short term, wow, look at that big shift there. Oh, this would be cold air and a lot of wind through the DMV. Let me go to the euro. Take a look at this. I'll show you 1 second. Our AO, as we get into mid February, like I was talking to you about, I think this is gonna shoot negative again towards the end of February. But again, Matt, you know what that means. Our AO wanting to shift negative at the same time we're going into phase 8 at the MJO. You know, that this is a sign for not only potential winter storm actions, just more winter storms, not even necessarily out east, but just more stronger winter storms and potentially more severe weather second half of February into March. If you know, you know. Yeah, exactly. Is it going to snow in Georgia? It could. It could. Third, fourth week of February, maybe beginning of March. Your outlook will give you a chance, but you need the right things to happen. Your outlook wants to bring your winter type cold air back down in here, potentially some below freezing air back down into the southeast second half of February. So you still need a lot of things to be timed up right. But not a terrible outlook if you want a chance for snow again in Georgia. Pink Knit, I appreciate you. Jessica, thanks for sharing the live. I felt like a bot when I said that. Jessica, thanks for sharing the live. Any more cold fronts way down in South Texas? Not in your forecastable future, but with the negative AO potentially moving into a negative AO, we could see another big dip of cold air back down to South and Eastern Texas. Short range models starting to please me for Wednesday and Thursday. Oh, I haven't even taken a look at those. I don't trust the NAM. I do more with severe weather. Please you in the way of you're seeing less Cape. HRRR. Possible for snow again in Louisiana. Hillary, that's going to be tough. If you're going to get snow in Louisiana, it typically has to happen in January or very early in February because it's very far south. And even with the right break in our polar jet and a big dip in the jet stream, if our planet's tilted a little too close to the sun, that below freezing air doesn't want to reach down towards the Gulf. Not impossible late in February, but it's going to be tough. You can see a lot of moisture wanting to move into the region before we have any sort of potential cell activity. What are we looking at? Just joined. Just joined back. Short range models. Wait, what do you mean, Matt? Oh. Oof. Can you tell me what to come for Syracuse to New York. Is it not dumping snow there? Looks like it's dumping snow there right now. So do I. So do I, Matt. This actually looks much more concerning on this radar. 1 second, guys. Not only that, but the way you can see the shear. Really quickly, guys, I want you to look at something. Matt, can you see that shear? Oh my gosh. We have 1 second, guys. This is pushing into Wednesday. Southwesterly winds. Southeasterly winds. With a lot of heat. And then boom, you... Yep, wind direction change with height. And then you get this popcorn look. There may be more of a tornado threat than we thought through Texas. That is interesting. And wind direction change with height. We're starting off southeasterly and we're pushing all the way to westerly. Yeah, that could be bad. That could be bad. Good to know. Well, I'll cover this in my video tomorrow, just to let people know what's going on. Thanks for showing me that, Matt. Thanks for pointing that out. Kind of an ominous look there. Last thing, sorry guys, before I get back to chat. Oh no. All right. That may be a significant event there. If we get enough shear, we can get it SRH values to increase, giving us a hidden tornado risk. Yeah, it's looking not so hidden right now, but we'll see. I'm gonna call you and talk to you about that after I get off stream here in about 30 minutes. So, all right, let's get back here. Flagstaff, Arizona. You guys are expected. I mean, here we can. I'll show you what our latest. We can actually just zoom right into Arizona. Let's go to our Euro, and zoom right into Arizona. Let's just look at our 3-day states. Here's our 3-day projection from the Euro, where they think snow's gonna fall. Although we may want to look at our HRRR here. I like our Euro, but our HRRR is going to be much more. It's going to be a much tighter model. So Flagstaff's where? Somewhere in here. I know Flagstaff's somewhere in here. It's hard for me to tell on this map. I think it's this one. Maybe this one though. Big warm weather in New Jersey soon. Slight warm up. I wouldn't say major, but well, for a couple days, yes, major. Northeast updated snow forecast next week or two. Well, most of your snow up in the Northeast is coming very, very soon. Here's your Northeast. Here's the Euro. Let's just look at our 5-day. I mean, we can look at our 7-day, but here total Kuchera. Let's look at our. We're not going to go to HRRR. We'll go to our Euro 18Z. Here's our snow forecast, kind of like 5 days. 4 to 5 days. So, if you're south of that line, it's going to be tough for you to get snow. You know, those really bright pinks are a foot or more. The purples are 6 inches. The whitish blues are 1 inch or 2, and then your darker blues are closer to 5 inches. Yep, Philly was never expected to be involved in this, although the GFS, I think, wants to give Philly a chance to be involved in this. I see the GFS. GFS model keeps it a little bit farther to the north as well, but then expects one of these clippers around February 2nd to dig down into Philly and New York City. So we'll watch it. Too early to call for totals on that one around the 2nd. Tomorrow, I'll talk about it in my video, what our best projection on totals are. I want to see what our 00Z and 12Zs tomorrow say, because that's much better forecasting range. They're going to adjust too much right now, I think. Anything left for VA this winter? Oh, yeah, if you've been watching this live, I'm going to give you guys a good video tomorrow with all the updates. Coast to coast, snow totals, severe weather threat, everything. But yes, if you've been watching this live or listening to what I've been talking about, or if you're just new in here, it's the second half of February does look like a big chill and potential winter pattern back out for the east. So I don't know if Virginia's quite done with their winter storms. Again, the midway point of winter was 7 days ago. We have so much winter left, guys. I know some of you don't want to hear that, but we do. Good. Michigan is all pink. When is this storm for the east? Well, what we were looking at there, that was all within 4 days. Clipper systems. Evan. Yeah, so this big event, this big rain event here is Friday into Saturday. Donna, Rich, I appreciate you. Oh, my computer's yelling at me. There we go. Any stuff for Wisconsin? You guys are expected to see above average precipitation. You are expected to see above average precipitation. Here is our probability of snowfall, European ensemble. We haven't taken a look at this update anytime soon. Tanner, I feel like I saw the groundhog. The groundhog saw a shadow, so that means spring is near. Yeah, well, listen. I don't want to ruin Groundhog's Day for you guys, so sure. It's all a myth, guys. It's all what's it called? Legend. Probability of snowfall. Let's take a more interesting look at this. 3 inches or more over the next couple weeks. So this would be more of a significant snow. Here's where we're expecting more of a significant snow. We'll just woo. There you go. North of that line. This is where you have a 60 to 90% chance of seeing 3 or more inches of snow. And then if we go down to 6, this is based on our latest Euro ensemble. These places have a chance to see 6 inches to a foot of snow over the next couple weeks. You see where this color is. Now, this is all just more red than out here because it's mountains. But this is just because we're gonna have some troughing digging through here with a lot of different clippers here moving forward. Connor, give me a hug. What does February look like in Kentucky? Mostly temperature-wise. Well, from basically the 1st to the 6th, above average. Through almost our halfway point, above average. Once we get past the halfway point of February, I expect this blue to start creeping down into Kentucky, go back below average for the second half. Snow for Long Island soon. Congrats on 100K. Thank you, Nick. Been supporting you for a while. Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't see snow in Long Island's immediate future. The GFS does have a look. The GFS does have a look here. For some snow right here with this system. So this would be into this upcoming Sunday. It wants to put snow into like Philly, New York City, and Long Island. The Euro holds this to the north, though, and the Euro is probably going to end up being correct on this one. Probably. Not guaranteed. But the Euro, as you can see, looks like it wants to keep that snow much farther to the north. It has this kind of ridging, this heat a little bit farther up to the north. So if we don't get it from that, it's going to be at least probably a week and a half to 2 weeks for our next snow chance in Long Island. Dalton, it looks to be snow that's heading to central Ohio. I didn't expect any snow. Will we get a dusting tonight? Here's our latest look. This is, again, the Euro's a good model. Our latest projection on the 18Z of the Euro keeps all of this snow to the north. Just up in northeast Ohio. Is the GFS a little bit more aggressive with that? Down to the south? Probably. It normally is. A little bit more, but it really keeps most of Ohio dry. At least no snow. Not dry. We can go to our quantitative precipitation and see how much rainfall you might see through that time frame. So, an inch or two central to southern Ohio during that time frame of rainfall. Thank you for the follow, Gunnar Schroeder. Low elevation snow does look to be possible in Seattle sometime between the 3rd to 5th of February. The Euro and the GFS both like that. So they do. What happens to this? Looks amazing. This is pivotal weather. Thank you for the follows, guys. Thank you for the subs as well over there on YouTube. Let's move this forward a little bit. Can you see any more snow for the south? Potentially, but not for a couple weeks here. That's going to be more of a second half of February. Watch. Detroit snow this week. It does look like you'll get a shot at some snow this week. The GFS really likes snow into Detroit Sunday. Again, I think the Euro may hold that to your north, and the Euro's the better snow model. The Euro still gives you a chance right there, and then keeps the second clipper to your north. So it's going to be a close call. It's going to be a real close call in Detroit. You might end up with just rainfall and mixing, though. Early severe weather season for the Midwest. A little too early to tell. I think an early severe weather season for the Southeast. Probably the Midwest as well, if I had to guess. The Storm Prediction Center has a 50% for severe weather odds. Peyton, yeah. So, SPC, day 3 outlook. There you go. Slight risk. Again, Mesomat was in here earlier, and guys, he's going to be covering the severe weather potential outbreak on Wednesday and Thursday. Maybe in a Friday, but it's really a Wednesday, late Wednesday into Thursday. It's really a Thursday event. And he did point out something on our models here that's slightly concerning. If we go to our HRRR and we go down here into the Texas region, down into severe reflectivity. A couple things on here that's concerning. The first thing I notice is our shear. You start to see crosswinds here. South-southeasterly winds moving into southwesterly winds. This is what creates vorticity and rotation, potentially near the surface. And then watch what happens up here towards Dallas and just out to the west. Popcorn. This is where you can get supercells. This is where you can get some strong tornadoes. Although we're hoping that this air is going to be a little too saturated, which would create an issue for lift. You need to lift these spinning columns, these vorticity spinning columns that are horizontal to the surface. You need them to lift up into the vertical to become tornadoes. And if our air is too saturated here, they won't lift. But this is a concern right now. And then this would end up trailing out to the east like this. So, something to watch, something to pay attention to into Wednesday, into especially Thursday. Doubtful on subs. Strong forcing. We'll see what happens here. Still looking more like a flash flooding risk to me overall from that system. That's what I've been concerned with for most of the time. So, why is the why is South Colorado in yellow? Where? Oh, on this. That's just a winter. These are winter storm warnings, or winter storm watches. So you guys are gonna have some snowfall, and some wind moving through the region. Some colder air with this kind of low that's forcing its own cold air down on you. So just a weather statement. That's all. Nothing too significant to be concerned with. Your real significant weather right here is, as you see, your winter storm warnings up there, just north of Syracuse, up towards the Watertown region. Why doesn't Central New York have a watch or warning? You have to have a certain amount of characteristics with your storm to get a watch or warning. A certain level of winds, a certain level of precipitation per hour to be falling. You guys are kind of are on watch, but you just don't have any official one. A lot of this is not going to be as brutal as it moves farther inland, or as it approaches the coast. Let me see. Any more snow for mid-South Kentucky? Again, that's a second half of February question. I mean, that's something I think we're going to be looking at in the second half of February, not in the next couple weeks. I'm moving to Buffalo. Their lake effect snow is no joke. I want it. You might get tired of it real quick. Thanks, Jess. I appreciate that. Yeah, we did it. 100K. Michigan weather. Well, let's look at what our Euro thinks for you. Let's look at what our Euro thinks for you. You guys are going to be cold, but you already know that. Here is what we're expecting over the next 5 days in Michigan, snow-wise, based on the Euro, which is our much better snow model up here. You can see we're not really getting that lake effect because the lake's frozen. But, this would be some potential snow. Maybe into Detroit. No crazy totals except for northern Michigan is expecting to get some pretty good totals through the week, really beginning now through the weekend. All right. I have to get up early in the morning, guys, and I got a little bit of a headache. So I'm probably going to call it. Tomorrow I'm going to put out a fleshed out video, probably 2 to 3 minutes, on what's going on coast to coast. What can we expect snowfall wise? What can we expect rainfall wise? What can we expect? We're just going to go over everything. Wind, severe weather, everything. And then we'll take a look at kind of the, again, winter pattern shift we're expecting mid-February. But I'll try to cover as much as I can in detail because I'm going to be out of town Wednesday to Friday. So I'll cover it in detail, and then I'll do a decent long stream tonight or tomorrow night as well, so we can go through all this stuff. But I appreciate you guys, and I'm still hyped about this and my cake. Shout out to the best wife ever. Look at that. So I'm going to go stuff my face a little bit more. Everyone have a great night. Yeah, Yali, you didn't see the cake? I've been eating it. Everyone have a great night. I need some water because I got a headache. But I appreciate you guys. And I'll put that video out tomorrow. And I will see